Привет и добре дошли на стрима. Сега е 3 или 4 часа. Последно стигнахме до... убихме часовниковите войници и успяхме да освободим Соколов, което ни дава сега нови възможности и да видим сега какво следва вече в историята. Не съм сигурен качеството на стрима как е, защото те са нови настройки. Битрейта как е и се опитвам да се уверя, че няма да има някакви фрагменти, защото последния път като гледах имаше доста голям проблем с качеството на стрима, което не ми хареса и в момента го виждам пак по същия начин. Дайте ми момент да видя дали мога нещо да направя. Best quality, high quality. Не? Target quality 100? Не. Колко е? 50, 90? Не. 80, 70 не ми дава. 60, 40, значи 50 е максимума. И да кажем 18 000 килобайта. Или 28. За по-стабилно да е. Или айде 30. Apply. И да тестваме сега да видим. Да, тези неща трябва да ги направя преди да почна да снимам. Но естествено моята така хубава самоличност и като човек обича да прави нещата по време на всичко без да планира. И сам мишката обаче ми стана по-бърза. Или пък не. О, да. Със сигурно съм много по-бързо, отколкото трябва да е. Не знам какво стана, но в момента мишката ми... Не знам защо прави това. Защо е толкова бърза тази мишка? Ха. Чет... До 2 обиколки и половина. Интересно. А? Сега е добре. Така. Със сигурност стримът не е на най-хубавото качество, но ще го преживея. Мисля. Да. Ще го преживея. Сега ще тестваме от телефона да видим как се вижда. И да се надявам мишката да не... Добре, няма да бъгне. И да видим сега. Тази музичка в бакграунда направо ми бърка в здравето. Ужас. Да, има фрагменти в битрейта, но ще го преживеем този път. Ната не е много хубаво в момента и просто нещо е малко предсакан, така че се извинявам. Но поне е на 60 FPS, което е най-важното. Добре. Става. И така, да си продължим от там, където си бяхме. Да видим сега какво следва. Принципно знам какво следва, но нали, да не ви спълвам на вас. Или може би не знам какво следва. Да, не очаквах да бъда отново в Давойта. Да си говориме с нашия приятел. Да видим.
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago. I made you flee your precious tower and turned Emily into cold stone. How difficult for you. But When I was young, sweet Jessamine and I were close as sisters, sharing a secret. Emperor Kaldwin had another daughter, born in shame to a kitchen maid.
What's she playing at? Maybe how is the question.
Добре, това наистина не го очаквах, хора. Забравял съм го. И сега за това ще се появи Делайла.
During the day, Jessamine and I played games in the tower. But at night, I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy would visit and tell me if I was good, next year I'd be old enough to come to court to be a princess. Then one day, pretty Jessamine broke something worth a fortune, and the spy master caught us. She claimed I did it, and he whipped me in the garden house until I bled. My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep.
Чудо, че е станала толкова злобна. Добре, тази част много съм я забравил. От една степен не я защитавам, но...
Mother and I saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick on an assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for weeks after a fat guard broke her jaw. They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing bedsheets in a brothel, I painted on the side, until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word for it. I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn. My mother's sick. She needs help.
Your mother kicked off while you were out begging. She's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No!
Her sentence is served and she'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
How much of this is true, and how much is Delilah's warped imagination?
И това също е възможно, наистина, че може и тя да е луда.
When I saw what they'd done to Anton Sokolov, I wanted to hurt everyone who'd helped Delilah and the Duke of Serkonos pull off their coup. Sokolov is the man who made whale oil into a weapon, who turned back the plague, and now he's barely able to speak. The hands that painted the most powerful men and women of our time shake too badly to hold a spoon. When he does talk, he's going to give me a name, the next step along the way to Duke Luca Abel, then Delilah herself. A name. That's all I need.
Да, наистина, като тя го е Соколов, като отгледал Делайла и ги се е учил от него, защо тогава се е позволил това да му се случи.
Jessamine, Delilah's stronger now.
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
All this is her doing, and she'll die for it.
Our decisions have weight. I feel my time drawing to an end soon.
Добре. Добре, сега вече сме нормални. Само може би още малко може мишката си да си увелича така само. На 9. Я да видим. Да, така е по-добре. Така. Между другото... Не, по-добре да апгрейдаме за това. И така.
For a man of his age, Sokolov's making better progress than I would have expected.
Да, Соколов ни направи маската. Nice.
Anton, you've had 3 days to rest. Tell me how to kill Delilah.
They tortured him. His body is covered with bruises.
Delilah has the throne and she has Emily. Anton, once we had you in a cage and you dared us to kill you, I need that man back.
Corvo, she's right. I can make electricity move from one side of the room to the other, but Delilah is beyond my understanding. When I came to Sarkonos, I meant to leave everything behind. But when the assassination started, I couldn't ignore it. By the time Megan and I connected the murders to the Duke, it was too late. The Crown Killer came for me. It kept me alive from my knowledge, but I saw things. Jindosh often had a visitor, Brianna Ashworth.
The curator of the Royal Conservatory.
Yes, Ashworth is dangerous, as obsessed with the occult as Delilah. Apparently, she's working on a device called the Oraculum.
Това...
There's more to her than either of you know.
If Ashworth is one of Delilah's lieutenants, I need to eliminate her. Who knows what this device is capable of, or what she's up to.
Delilah.
Jasmine's face has never faded from my memory. Could Delilah truly be her sister?
I painted that from memory, which is a tricky thing. But I must admit to seeing some of the old Emperor's features in her face. It was long ago when I took Delilah in. Whipped thin, angry and brilliant. But her obsession with the occult and the Caldwin family took her out of my circles.
Delilah's paintings are chaotic, but she sculpts much better than you, Anton.
You knew Delilah? When were you going to tell me?
When you needed to know. My past is none of your business, Royal Protector.
Another lifetime. We all came to Karnaca for our own reasons, Corvo. Megan had hers too. I'm sure you understand the need for secrets.
Забелязал съм, че игрите, по-старите игри, има някои примери. Тази игра става дума за аудиото, не е точно за историята в момента, че се бъква аудиото. Гласът ми идваше от стола, докато бях тук. И това съм го забелязал не само в тази игра. Когато я релиснат, всичко е наред, обаче после всичките пачове неща, които направят, и става забавно. Това никога не съм се заглеждал в него. Какво по дяволите е това? И защо пак мишката ми стана супер бърза? Или аз нещо си обържавам си да си обържавам. За да разгледаме тук. От след това съжалявам. Като не играе твърде дълго време на някоя игра и се тъмън свикна и сме на малко настройките и всичко. Отива на вятъра. Било increase the full purpose with the full knowledge and project. Тази ще бъде по-трудно от тези, където сега видяхме.
Before I leave Serkonos, Duke Luca Abel and I are going to meet face to face, and he'll pay for all this. Delilah's powerful. How is it possible I haven't crossed her path in all these years?
Не, ти си наново. Дошло е времето. Но нали знаеш как може да убиеме съвсем тихо и без даже да разбера, че сме там.
We'll take the skiff. I don't want to bring the dreadful whale any closer than we have to. There is a small dock in Syria Gardens, close to the conservatory. That's as far as I can take you. Ready to go?
Да. Моля. Хайде да видим. Collecting resemble crafts. Да. Даже когато излезе играта, не можех да я подкарам. Аз да мога да снимам, не трябваше да си апгрейдна компютъра.
There will be a grand guard presence outside the Royal Conservatory. Inside, be prepared for anything. Ashworth runs with an eclectic crowd. They'll be the real danger.
И сега просто...
Someday I'd like to know more about how you met Ashworth.
I know you would.
използват
Trust me.
същото ниво.
Ashworth is important to Delilah, which brings up something else. You might be able to exploit the Abbey of the Everyman in removing Ashworth from play. Turns out the Vice Overseer in Karnaca has been watching Ashworth from a hidden outpost near the Royal Conservatory. Check it out first if you want more options. Remember, if she's still working with Delilah, Ashworth is a grave threat.
Thanks, Megan. See you soon.
Между другото ще... Като минеме тази игра, ще играме и после DLC-то с нея. С Меган. Защото така и не можех да го играя. Може би това е нещо като рекап да си направя. Я да видим сега тук за какво става. Майко мило. Трябваше да свикам. Тук ще падне... А защо имам маус акселер... Ето какъв е бил проблема. Аз ще да какво се случва? Той има маус acceleration. Обаче защо ми е включен? А защо има наистина маус acceleration? А джойстика не ми е включен. Чакайте. Виждате ли как става все по-бавно на някакви места? Седно имам някакъв aim assist в момента. Не мога да разбера защо тук става бавно, тук става бързо, тук става бавно, тук става бързо. Какво по дяволите? Защо? FPS. Не, мерси. Това не ми трябва. Quality не. Защо? Висинков. Искаме да е на... Добре. 120. Предпочитам. Само да ми се оправи това с мишката му. Си тъпотията. Баси тъпнята. Това не беше така, когато снимах първия път. Миналите част. Това са е станало. Не знам защо. Ето и защо мишката ми не е бачкала. Като хората. Тя се е била правилно на 17. Обаче заради висинг, който е бил пуснат. Да, общо взето това е станало. Ще съм бърникал по-настъпките, не си спомням. Когато съм тествал нещо. И аз не знам. Чакайте да разгледам другите неща. Тия неща не трябваше да ги оправя преди да снимам. Много се извинявам. Супер много се извинявам. Adaptive Resolution Menu Performance Quality. FPS седи добре. Добре. Ще секнем с това. И пак е същата тъпня. Предпочитам High да правя всичко, така че изобщо няма да си поплювам.
Hello?
О, не.
You've been found guilty of standing in my way. You don't stand going anywhere.
Хубаво за хейкел съм, аз не съм готов, аз не съм играл, не знам колко време съм. Стъпната. Добре. Стига ли гъвщини? А тия шебеняци там. Тия. Като ние почват.
I thought the old Duke Theodanis outlawed Umberwood export.
Тук ще минаме. Искаме просто бързичко да съберем всички раните. Да, това ни е целта. И пари. Апгрейдите ни трябват. И така. Тук може и да има някой. Има. Я да видим. Mirror's family connect report that another silver mine has pre-collapsed, leaving така добре това ви интересува. Все още не е писал. Може би това е защото не сме в нашия главен град. Огромна вероятност да е това проблема. Това го взимаме. Това тук се отваря.
I see your point.
Да, и искам да направим ето така. Да. Просто за не трябва всеки път да... да стигнат от там. Това беше въпроса. Little games with treasure of physical existence of what for lane realm experts. A real place, folklore. These little games from a void in a dream or described by those awakened from comas are not limited to select few. There is not a single citizen without such vision at one time or another. This then must be a real place, not a folklore or mass delusion. Perhaps it exists deep below the earth or far above it. Perhaps it is right next to us, but hidden. Some trick of the light or wondrous conservative fully knowing that we all but wait for a natural few suffered or not the pheromone to show us how see it at will. Този се опитва да разследва Войда. Това, от което ние на практика бягаме. Не толкова. А сега кажи ми често, къде беше това? Добре, виждам ги. Това няма да ми помогне. Това изобщо няма да ми помогне. Това го взимаме. Благодаря. Ще си го взема за вкъщи и да се молим тук горе, да няма друго. Че това беше на коса, изобщо не ги видях. Добре, стигнахме. After several return, after was those three times Falcon, Maiden, Mistress, Mosen, Hen, Fisher, Farmer, Frog, and Oren. Once a king dressed in red, warmed by flames on further bed, while all the town starving cried, chilled by winds, the mountain of ice, hit them of frost, hit them of snow. The monarch decreed to them below, upon a spike they preached his head, cursed his name, burned his dead. Hush, Abai, and don't be afraid. Mama will sing through all the night. Many an hour before morning sun, don't dream of horror yet to come. Това беше приготвено.
Look at you, leaving a trail of bloody boot prints across this dying city.
Точно така.
Brianna Ashworth would have been miserable as a member of high society, forced to wed some bloated banker. Her only moments of real freedom, getting drunk at fancy balls, and slipping away to couple with strangers. It would have ended in an unhappy marriage and a late-night plunge into an icy river. But just before mother and father married her off, so many years ago, she found Delilah instead. It was all highways and graveyards after that, never looking back. Vice Overseer Byrne is an ambitious man, but he believes in the Abbey's mission, protecting the good people of the Empire against the likes of us. You know he'd be happier deep down if this ended with Brianna Ashworth's head on a spike. Maybe yours as well.
На практика Делайла Хеме, тя може да бъде зла за нас, но на практика тя е добра за тях, за вещиците. Защото им е дала надежда. Спасила ги от смърт. Да, двете страни на ножа. Доброто срещу доброто и злото срещу злото. Тези стрели, между другото, какви са... Това усилно тук, това тук, това тук. Макар че знаете ли, че... Ако ползваме стрелите... Не, грешка. Така, така и така. Добре, да видим следващото. Така, взехме тези руните, да видим дали може да вземе Ще можем. Супер. И това вече го имаме. Това си вземаме вече на 3. 4, 5.
Did anyone ever find out what happened to Pearlton and Lieutenant Culbers?
They probably ran off, you ask me. Must have had a thing for each other.
No, she went missing a day before he did. And someone found an officer's pistol in the gutter. I think something else happened. Maybe they went inside the conservatory.
Sleeping people. We tell ourselves we're keeping it together, but everyone's afraid of what will happen when it really falls apart.
Нищо не си чул. Мисля да я избавя от мъките. О, да. И не остава нищо. Най-полезната способност. Добре, тук има спящи хора. Доста спящи хора. Тук е станала някаква касапница. Да, ооо. Тук са имали доста интересна игра на покер, ако питате мене. Спрямо това, което виждам. Интересно ме дали ще намеря някакви улики, какво се е случило тук. Ясно е, че са играли покер. Мога ли да видя... Блекджек, какво са играли? 1, 2, 3, 4. Къде е четвъртия? Би трябвало да има четвърти човек, но не мога да разбера къде. Чакайте малко, значи ако има 1, 2, 3... Този, който е оцелял, е избягал, но къде е отишъл? И стойте да видим какво взехме. Battles Flicked хора. Добре, тя няма ги пипаме. Искам да разбера къде е. Това може да ме види. Не. Сейф. Така. Следващата руна.
Ashworth is somewhere inside the Royal Conservatory.
Това беше някакво малко куче някъде. Къде е това малко куче? Защо лаше така? О, не. Не, махни се от мене. basalt and winds presented at the Academy of the Benef and Moral Edification of the Pupils. Това не мога да почита. Какво е това? Майко, извинете. Бла. Safe combination. I'm certain I saw one of the students at my lecture writing down the combination for my safe, that silver spoon deterrent who wants to make a career as a newspaper journalist. Sneaky fuck, he's chosen a fitting career, and his snoopy cousin operates the block market shop. Anyway, so I must run in their well-headed family. Now I need to ask Margaret to change the combination to my safe. Student. Това значи, че би трябвало някъде. Това значи някъде тук има записано. Crown Killer is watching. Предполагам. Къде може да са тези комбинации? Това чудо там не ми харесва. Добре. После има още една рума. Там само трима. I have a new assignment for one with your unique talent. I'd like you to retrieve the old rose burrow prototype of a display at the Royal Conservatory. It's like well protected, but I will double the finder's fee. Bring it back to me at the shop. MV. Взехме. Exposure from grains at times, but more damage. Тези маси мисля да ги... Така. Това е много. Нищо. Нищо не мога да направя. Добре, сета. Също им да се разправя с тях. Дайте да видим с тях. Там долу. отиде четвъртия? Третия по-скоро. Къде отиде третия? Къде си бе, маняк? Не мога да го видя. Сега изчез... А, не, ето го бе.
Huh? What was that? That sounded like broken glass.
Не думай. Добре. Тъпата му каска. Тъпата ти гадна каска, приятел. Не знам какъв късмет имам, ама... Са ти къде си? Добре. Знам, че се връщам абсолютно на същото място, но просто трябва да се кача горе. Не съм пропуснал нещо тук, нали? Нищо добре. Така... Искаме да стигнем до там. Какъв е това гаден звук? One of the furthest reaching PRI was abandoned at the vessel field, the port, leaving me with only warm winds, looking upon the family wake of regret. Каква песничка, не знам каква е тази песничка. Аз я чета като книжка. Значи да Undoing dancers and the taste of Tavian wine can't overcome my recollection of the ocean and its swaying whispers. Even now, the excited cries of my homecoming children leave me unmoved and weary, longing for the lament of the deep ones and their indestructible mysteries. I crave through the umberwood forest and I bleed the mountain silver veins, yet no purse overflowing with coins. Bays enough to slake my thirst for the salty depths. I'm no aristocrat or lord, no overseer or well-versed scholar, but I burn all their tomes and melt down their precious crowns, to be young again and back on the endless sea. Huh. This is nice. This is pretty nice. Това е доста добро. Да видим. Ще повече добре. Продължаваме. Оп. Да видим сега. Бих се тук. Така. Добре, отиваме сега за тази руна там. Само че да видим откъде ще минем. Връщаме се оттам, откъде дойдохме. Това ще бъде най-лесно. Окей. Съм сигурен тук колко хора има. Се надяваме да няма хора. Не. Никой. No one. Just the wind.
I think I just saw something.
Те прецених.
Today is your lucky day, madam. It's the day you get to meet Pirate Betty in person. Time to pay the price if you want to live.
Never heard of her. Oh, wait, wasn't she a waitress down on the docks?
You must have heard the stories about Pirate Betty. About all the terrible things I've done to the fools who refuse to give up some trinkets or a bag of coins.
No, I've never heard one word about your exploits. Go on. What did you do to your marks? Give them a good tap on the nose?
For shit's sake, why do you have to ruin everything? I played my part when I was the victim. How are we supposed to attract any suckers if you won't play along?
You're the worst thug I've ever seen. Pirate Betty, my ass.
Ще се сбиете ли? Престъпнят.
What a moving, tragic death. You're a far better actress than I am. Probably just fresh blowing in the wind.
Oh well.
Това беше нечестно, което направи. Така че заслужи това, което получи. Така. Как да стигна до там? Тук ли трябва да мина? Как се взима това нещо? Добре. Насам. Но насам. Аха.
Welcome. Obviously, you are someone with refined tastes. Welcome to my shop.
Say, an acquaintance of mine is supposed to be holed up in an office overlooking the Royal Conservatory. Check on them if you're headed that way. I'd check myself, but the streets are locked down. I'd make it worth your time.
I've been there. Your acquaintance won't be visiting again.
A shame. In that case, I have a proposition for you. Recover the Roseboro prototype for me, and I'll pay you the finder's fee and something extra.
I'll think about it.
Take a look at what I've got for sale while you think. Welcome back. Please, take your time.
Ancient hobo blinds him because of homes to flee. Witches to flee. Ей, това ще бъде много полезно.
This is what I have for upgrading your equipment.
Добре, а къде е? Защо го няма? Ама защо го няма? Сега защо кашляш?
I'm certain you will be satisfied with your purchase. An excellent choice. No need to wrap it for you, I suppose.
No.
All those valuable artworks locked up in the conservatory where no one can see them. Truly a shame. It was a pleasure to serve you.
Взехме ролята. А как да ограбим? Не можем ли да го ограбим това? Можем. Добре. И трябва да има път отдолу. Но къде по-точно? Как да го ограбя този?
Come in, my friend. Always a delight to see you. What a pleasant surprise to see you again.
Как да си отключа този шоп?
Welcome back. Please, take your time.
Това къде отива? Трябва ми помощ. Трябва ми помощ. Някой да ми каже как да го направя това. Виждам, че има някакъв начин, но не разбирам как. Значи това колело съм сигурен, че отива някъде. Сигурен съм, че това ще ми помогне да отворя нещо, което и аз не знам какво. Въпросът е къде е? Не би да е някъде долу. Е тук. Може би. Да, точно така. Точно така. Не трябваше да му да направи. Ако знаех, че мога да го направя това. И така... Сега трябва много внимателно да го... Укрепиме този.
Bloodflies are worse here than any district in Kanaka. And it used to be such a prosperous district too.
Той не знае изобщо, че съм тук. Тихо. естествено, че ще вземем абсолютно всичко, което можем. Какво беше това? Какво? Какво беше това, бе? Стига, бе. Кажи честно. Не. Поне са не съм му дал пари. Добре, хайде този път бързичко, ако може. Така, така. Така. Така.
He did it. No questions, no complaints. Harnaka needed miners, and he produced them. Out of thin air. That's
И чакайте да си прочетем пак тази интересна песничка, тук да си вземем. Да. Тези неща ми трябват. Така. И случайно да не сме пропуснали нещо за четене. Не. Добре, не сме. Хайде. Добре. Не, това няма да стане. Ти виж. Много място. New place unlocked. Окей. Не, приятел. Аз не съществувам.
It's just like mad. Why can't I wear my regular clothes?
Аз къде се наврях? Аз къде по дяволите се наврях? Representative from the Royal Conservatory confirmed today that the site closure has been extended once again with no promise of when it might reopen. Curator Brianna Ashworth could not be reached for a comment. Readers will remember that an infestation of mites in the Roseboro except forced to closure nearby 6 months ago. True, there have been rumors that no exterminators has been hired. The Roseboro exhibit was to be prestigious event sponsored by the Academy of Natural Philosophy with hopes of attracting numerous experts and guests lectures from across the aisles. This important exhibition is now on hold indefinitely due to the extended closure for hopeful visitors. There is nothing to do but wait for further word. Okay. Тук случайно да има нещо? Добре. Добре, нещо.
Anyone here? Show yourself.
Where did you go?
Тези как не съм ги видял.
Hello?
You're being quiet?
That was a rat. It was a fat one.
Give us what you got.
Я се бега от тук. Молите се.
Welcome. Obviously, you are someone with refined tastes.
Тук между другото не провери дали има някакви други неща, които са написани. Случайно да има нещо друго тук? Не. Ай, сектор. Айде. Просто не искам да крещиш, приятел. Знам, че нещо не си ми направил, но... И така. Прекрасно. Айде, да. Готово. Така. Това какво е сега? Sticky grenade. Това е нещо полезно. Нещо друго тук. Не. Няма. Окей. И така. Сега остават ни тези.
Someone's gonna die, yeah, but please, not today.
This shirt reeks. I gotta get a spare uniform.
Masked killer heard some victims were found half devoured, blood and shit every.
What's going on?
Overseer Ogburna. I should be back within a few days. Continue the compile information or Bernana Ashworth's activities. Despite the old letter we received from our oracular sister in Suerio, it's not like them to issue a proclamation without certainty, but I know I'm right about Ashworth. My gut tells me she's a threat. That said, the Howers are my priority. This conflicts with Palo Cloud, affect or influence in Karnaka for years to come. Yours in structures. Vice Overseer, Lime Brain. Това не е ли точно тази, където трябва да хванаме? The oracles ordered by Don was Harwaki, historian. Much has been said about the blind sister of the oracle holding through their eyes function just as well as yours or mine. However, they do endeavor to become blind to these directions and frivolities. Не мога да го прочета това. They will, if necessary, bind them. Walk among us wearing richy hoods, blindfolds, or otherwise covering their eyes. In their way, they remain at all times ready to see things clearly. Decisions are made during stirred gatherings. Through no other are permitted to observe the process was described. Was described to me, so I render it here with permission. Our room is prepared with heavy increased and blessings from the structures. In a circle sit 30 or more sisters of our order. Until room is brimming, we will hear no topic. Last we have each had adequate time to research. Several outcomes will be discussed, and some sisters are specifically tasked with advancing less popular or unlikely scenarios. It's not permitted to remain silent. Every voice must be heard. It might take some time to arrive at the decision, and by then all the quite versed in the myriad consequences and might have likely advised all the contagious не мога да го прочета това. When our opinion is written in maybe as short as a sentence or few 20 pages, yet still one last sister must approve it on High Oracle himself. Който си High Oracle имам предвид what the actual fuck.
Ashworth, curator of the Royal Conservatory. For a while, I believed Ashworth has some connection to the occult in Karnaka. Something is happening that I don't understand. The overseers are the forward face of the Abbey, but equally important are our sisters from the oracular order. To be direct, I suspect something is wrong within their sect. Some changes to the tax and proclamation they've been making. Small but troubling deviations from tradition. But publicly saying anything along those lines will get me accused of heresy by my rivals within the Abbey. Is it possible that Ashworth has infiltrated the oracular order?
So Vice Overseer Byrne thinks Ashworth is interfering with the oracular order. If true, it's another reason she has to be eliminated.
Еба си късмета. Добре, не видя.
Collapsing on a dozen workers. A beggar succumbs to blood flies. The cat sleeps on a velvet pillow. Камера. Това е интересно. Ти виж. I heard the noise again last night, but I won't open that trunk, not with him in there. I can't even stand to look at it, and going back to our apartment isn't a possibility. Since the Grand Guard seized the place, one little push shoved him harder than the 100 occasions, but he hit his head and the life went out of him. The blocker never was any good since the day I married him. After he was gone, at first it was alright, more food for me anyway. Then things started to get putrid. Just like him tormented me from the beyond. Still it was only a smell. But now it's noises, and I can't figure it out. His spirit has come for revenge, and that's what I think 1 minute. The next, I'm sure it's just rats making a home in his skin. I yelled, "Quiet!" the other day, but the noise got even stronger, like he was going to burst out. Not sure how much more I can take.
Всъщност това наистина ще бъде забавно, ако дойде. Но той може ли защо да се качи тук? Какво делате? Окей. Ето го съпруга. Само че чакайте малко. Това не би трябвало да е така. Той защо изгорял? Защо изгорял съпруга? Ударил си е главата, обаче... Това е той, това е тя. Обаче той как си ударил главата? Защо? Защо и как е станало това? Малки истории. Също има доста много. Дразер. Добре, това е заради тия години. Okay. Един, двама, трима, четирима, петима, 6-7. Добре. Този оцеля? Как оцеля, бе? Окей. Мисля, че ги изчистихме. Да, добре. Не мога там... Окей. The Royal Conservatory at Karnaka invitation date. Oh, okay.
find out how a sword through the heart wasn't enough to kill our new empress, Delilah.
After trying to make greyhounds for weeks, she gave up. You should have seen the snouts and teeth and tails.
Think about working your fingers raw.
Abigail. Cherished cousin, can you get me some of his hair and a recent handkerchief? If so, handle them as little as possible and send them to me wrapped in a wax paper. Leave the rest to me and he'll have bad luck the rest of his days. No one should be forced to marry an old oyster like him. Just thinking on his horrid purple lips makes me cringe. You poor little dove. How clever of Uncle Max to finally see the match was no good. Also, I'll send you some ointment for your complexion. Alisa. Damn.
That's true.
Това го взимам. Някой друго такова спайси писмо има ли? Те си спят тук. Те не си си гледат кефа тя. Такива лоши неща, както те. Това тук не трябва да го пипам. Мога да се обзаложа, че това не трябва да го пипам. Win a locked sword contest mode if select. Да не забравяме, че те може и да се телепортират. Gin with sugar, add so we will make his master and master fab. Искам само да си взема. Не мога да го прочита това. Това не мога да го прочита.
was to die today. I don't regret anything.
Ти не. Ти не, но аз да. Ти не, но аз да. Хъркай там. Добре. И така. Сега. Кое е най-близкото? Окей. Тук е пълно с вещици. Още не. Сигурно още не е никога, още не искам на хората.
Wicked ladies and hunters of slithering things in the hours before dawn, former milkmaids and magistrates, come before me and bow, for I am Delilah, your queen. All hail Delilah!
Да, тя е тяхната спасителка, затова я благословят. Съвсем нормално е. Тя ги е спасила. Не че взимам нейната страна, но... Нали, сега никой като ни им е помогнал. Те към кой друг ще може да се обърнат. Това куче не ми харесва. Моля, да кажи ми, че никой не чу. Добре. Гледай сега какво ме кара. By Anton Sokolov, chapter 16. To that, on our first day on the continent, but the new world was not settled and would have one more. None other than the captain himself, his group had found a cluster of small rodents. Much like rabbits or parasite moles, the lure of flesh meat provided too much a temptation for good captain, who had dined on scant fish and the same ration as the crew. All the dirty months, he was able to grab one of the creatures with his bare hands, but the docile beasts were not to tame after all. Having allowed the captain to pick it up, the creature became enraged and delivered several stings from the gland hidden in his tail. The captain complained of heat and itching, where the sting had pretended, but instead they pressed on. He died of не мога да го прочета това. Within a quarter hour, it was suddenly obvious to me that this is a rare of Artisan, we would not only fail to sufficiently research the continent, but we might soon lack enough crew to make the return voyage. Something had to be done to save the venture, and so I immediately declared myself captain. All my orders, the remaining crew kept to the relative safety of the beach of the duration of this week. Thought I sent 2 young academy students armed with nets and cages to fetch a live sample of the parasite mole that had swiftly killed the captain. As first and foremost was a research expedition. Anton Sokolov. Значи, реално погледнато, това тук е капитана, нали? Така. Или се бъркам. Да, това е капитан. Breaking and entering job. Use cliffside outside office window to get over fence. Drop down and enter basement through delivery door. Special display on the second floor. Enter to security room. Grab Rose Barrel prototype. Don't forget to disable alarm. Easy money. Thief plan. To get to the room of the second floor with the Rose Barrel prototype is use cliffside outside the window and get the fence. Then enter the basement through the delivery door. Access the room hiding in the... Okay. Banana floor. Hmm. 257. Това трябва да го направим. Значи може да се върнем между другото. Навръщане. Да не забравим да го направим на навръщането.
The part I always mix up. Tap the whalebone thrice, not twice. I'll be her favorite when she sees what I can do with a bit of cat fur and a bone from a drowned man's leg.
Вау. Много мамна ще използвам за тия двете. Не става.
Huh?
Hello?
Nothing. Whatever then. Let's have a look around.
Между другото, играем на най-трудното difficulty. Само казвам. И затова толкова внимавам, защото просто не ми се умира. A reflection of my journey to bad sim on this. Антон Соколов отново. Adona is set out with the group that foraged east and included 2 other natural fuel sulfurs and our 4 crewmen. We used a blaze to clear the vegetation that grew thickly here, and slowly made our way away from our shore up a step incline. Our purpose was to gather samples of the native plants of our research journals. I found myself pressing leaves and stems between pages, and taking copious notes on several species of flora I surmised no human had ever set eyes on previously, when suddenly young Mr. Gravet from the academy began hopping about and screaming wildly. Chance had played him pick. What? Chance had bade? What? Astaplism had played him pick an unfortunate place to step. Aggressive ant-like creatures swarmed him from below. So many in number were his tiny attackers that were quickly lost sight of him under their onslaught. We finally managed to pull out Gravel from the insects, acquiring several painful welts, where we had come to his aid. Mr. Gravet, however, was bitten, or sting, as it would eventually discover so many times he had barely recognizable, swollen it into deformity over every inch of his person, moaning like a sick bull. He expired before we could carry him back to the beach. Luckily, some of the creatures still clung to him, providing me with precious samples. Сякаш получавам импука за и не мога да разбера разследването по-важно ли от човешкия живот. Ремайндър. Да кито да човек си има. Аз имам ключа. Да, аз имам ключа. И само преди това да... Тук няма нищичко. Сериозно? Нищо. Трябва да има поне нещо, да. Не.
Ashworth's journal might tell me more about why Delilah can't be killed.
After Delilah fell to the assassin Dowd, her magic was lost, and the coven scattered. I made a new life in Karnaca. Then I heard her whispering from the void, leading me to the Duke, who heard those same whispers. Together we worked to bring Delilah back into the world, changing the Empire from the home of Aramis Stilton 3 years ago. Across the Isles, all of us who'd been with her at Brigmore and before, we felt the magic return. Others joined. New faces, new blood. Now, Delilah is immortal. Forever. She holds Dunwall, and we've turned to corrupting the oracular order. The Overseers take guidance from their prophetic sisters, and soon we'll influence their dreams and visions.
Не е безсмъртна. Само то ще ви кажа, че не е безсмъртна. И така. Стоп тайм, това не трябва. Обаче... Пресвото това ще бъде полезно. Пак казвам, Делайла не е безсмъртна. Антон Соколов, chapter 14. We were only miles from shore, but our approach was marred by numerous hidden reefs and jagged rocks. They lay shallow, and we spied 2 vessels that had succumbed to them some time ago. The remaining crew was uncharacteristically silent as we edged by the weathered wrecks. The first mate declared a particularly narrow channel to be impossible, but the captain dispatched 10 crewmen into the submerged coral with sledge-edge hammers. Thereafter, each chest deep in water, they pulled the Antonia Aquilo into the tiny channel with ropes. It provided a marvelous solution. However, just as we are about to lower the rope ladders, tragedy struck as the men were passed by a school of reef-dealing elves. Apparently, the toxic bites were quite painful. From the rallying we could use them, swearing the men who begged us for aid before succumbing to the paralytic effect of the toxin. Within moments, all were still in the water. We continued on in silence, and my son said we had cleared the bars and put entering a bay with red rock beach and emerald overgrown beyond. I confess I was near giddy to put my feet on the land again. The smell of ripening fruits and warm earth was a blessing to me as the cherished vintage. We gathered wool and made fire, and indulged in some tinned meal and lemons for stores. How it was to slumber on the beach with the crackle of embers nearby, having finally escaped the cramped and damp quarters of our vessel. We took turn with the watch and passed a quiet night. At last, we stood on Pandisine soil. Що не ми говори това? Значи, това е малко много пък е демек историята. Засилвам се малко много пък и цялата история. Обаче не съм много сигурен. Цялата история... Значи, първа книга. Антон Соколов. Къде е Антон Соколов? Лор. Не. Whispers goodbye. Не. Не. Защо Антон Соколов го нямаме в лор? А, ето. Значи 14. Това е Антон Соколов. Антон Соколов. Търсим Антон. Значи 14. Това е книгата на Антон Соколов. Аз съм сигурен, че имаме още една на него. Introduction. Не. Да, това е началото на това джърни. Антон Соколов, чаптър 15. Демек, цялото нещо, което е станало, ще ми е малко неясно, но ще го разбера. Надявам се. Да видим. Мамка. Добре. И така. И най-тъпото на това нещо е, че те имат кучета. Тия вещици. Тук долу има ли нещо? Добре, поне ги бейтнахме. Интересно. What? Чакай малко. Окей. Няма значение. Така. Да видим сега. Остава ни едно, две, три. И почваме квеста най-накрая. И най-близкото ни е това. Ужас. Значи. Така като стане. Имам идея между другото. I have an idea. Gentlemen, may I not have a brain, but I have an idea. Ще се сейфна. Я да видим. Искам да разбера нещо. Да, има ги. Добре. Те са на кое ниво? На трето ниво. Нали така? Така, да, моля те. Моля ти се. Моля те, тук влез. Влез де.
What?
Стига де. Просто влез там, бе, не ме карай да ти хвърля граната. Защо ме караш сега да ти хвърлям? Какво? Ще влезеш ли в асансьора? Не, аз си изключително. Аз всичко трябва да прецака. Така, the free course written and researched by Alba. Какво? The Great Rat Plague, the Spreading Death, the Foreign Curse. These are names we give to diseases that bloomed briefly, taking tens of thousands of lives as spread across Crystal from the home to home, town to town, preferring neither rich nor poor. The capital city of Dunwall suffered the most, settled too thickly by both people and rats. Many feared the plague would spread to Sercons, but even beyond the naval blockade effect at the time, several factors kept the sickness from reaching our shores. First, in Serconos, the population of disease-carrying rats was kept in check by bloodflies, natural enemies. Rats are known to feed on bloodfly larvae, and fully mature bloodflies lay their eggs in rats. Second, it's simply true that Serconos are healthier than most, with the best foods, morning constitutionals, and a strong work ethic. We have some immunity to diseases that afflict less vibrant folk. Lastly, morning dust was found in trace among the Serconos, even during the time of Dunwall's great crisis, and that dust played a critical role. It's true that plague was spreaded by rats, but some natural philosophers now believe that it was also carried on wind currents. As such, we can be thankful that in addition to bringing us wealth from silver, the mines also protected us from the greatest plague in living memory. Да, но това не обяснява тогава защо тук всичко е тръгнало толкова зле. Ето това ни трябва. Какъв беше този шум? Не знам какъв беше този шум. Добре. Така. Това е заключено, това е заключено. Да. Така.
Brianna, what happened to Jindosh? I'm told he's a gibbering idiot now.
I don't know, Delilah. Forgive me.
No, my dear.
Това може и да бъде полезно. You gain health when inflicting sword damage on enemies. Which blink? Consume no mana if used within a second of assassination. Да, това долу. Да, това нещо взимаме. Some drink money experience turn all mana. Use speed is increased when walking or running. За кое да жертваме? Това ще го жертваме. Окей. Това е добро. Така. Сега. You gain health when inflicting. Искам да тествам нещо. Ако сега това го жертвам и тръгна да крафтвам, дали ще го имам? Не. Добре, че не кръщнах тогава другото. Нищо. Така. Bone Charm Notes. Черни bone charmове. Това ще бъде интересно. I've set out to craft a new bone charm, and I hope to have it blackened. In keeping with those of greater power, it will complement the one I've carried since fighting it within a mausoleum in Alba. Though it's rare to meet other touched by the void, summoners beware. For as long as I carry that bone charm, the rats and vermin will turn against them. And the new charm, if it works, will shield me against assassins. 11th. I'm still working on my protective charm. I've taken the Tavern Grey bone recipe and altered it using much more burdock root. The instructions were vague, and the safeguards it offers are weak. Neither chamola or nasturtium added to the mix give the right effect, though the perfume the air quite nicely. I feel well protected from unpleasant smell, but not much else. I finally got it. Hellebore of Curse, fermented and reduced over a low flame. It's rare to achieve this effect where the bone charm turns darkest black, as I wanted. I warded against the first bullet or bolt from assassin's weapon. The initial shot that would fill me with instead chance of blood flies in an instant. Даме този бон шарм, той си го е правил, така ли? Finding light. Bone charm finding light. Nice.
Vice Overseer Burns' suspicions were right.
И последната.
No. He continued to tinker with the lenses. Thicker, thinner, more opaque. It was tiresome to watch. I still have the old lenses and cast-off parts piled in my workshop, but Jandash finished some time ago. The rest is up to me. Let's use a machine. A tricky thing, touching the void through such a device.
I look forward to using it myself once you're ready.
Will you visit soon?
Perhaps. Dunwall Tower is mostly in. Overseer won't be a problem anymore.
Oh.
I grow more.
Този бончон ще бъде труден тук. Усещам, че това ще ми коства много нерви. Да имаме кучета. Гадос. Окей. Молът. Добре, тук аз не трябва да съм в момента. Да, намерих си местенце, което... Какво седиш и гледаш, вези ми нещата и бягай, бе! Боже. 4. Нищо. Добре. Всичко обрахме, нали? Айде сега вече сейвкаме и отиваме вече към мисиите. Искаме да минем мисията, обаче по... не директно с сайдквеста да го направим. Ще бъде най-добре за мен. Така. Тези кучета са ужасни. Наистина, тези кучета са просто ужасни. И така. Значи трябва да стигнем там, без да ни видят. Ние имаме колко вещици. Това мога ли да го срута? Не, не мога. Добре. Окей.
Who's that?
Нищо не се видява. Warning from Bernena Ashworth. All of you, if you share my loyalty to Delilah and for Coven, heed my words. Again, I was haunted by nightmares about the raccoon. The original lens Jindash used in the device nearly ruined me. I felt Delilah's magic flicker, and the flame she rekindled in me almost went dark, like it did after Brigmore 15 years ago. I fear another incident like that will cost me everything, my connections to the void, to magic itself. We cannot afford any more mistake. I will study the discarded lens in my workshop, then have them destroyed. Remember that Delilah is relying on my efforts, and the raccoon is attuned to me alone. Do not interfere with the device. Only I have chance to control the oracular sisters.
If I can sabotage Ashworth's communion device, she'll be powerless.
Предполагам, че ще го направим по този начин този път. И ще трябва да внимаваме от тази кучка. Добре. Това ще успяхме. Тук между другото така и не дойдохме да разгледаме. Това тотално изключих с него.
I meant nothing to my fine family, beyond an advantageous marriage and years of childbearing. They promised me to a man 3 times my age who wheezed on about our wedding night. But a curious thing happened on the way to the altar, Delilah. From the first time I slipped out of the manor in the dead of night, there was no returning to my cage. Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of...
Looks like Kieran and Jindosh made these alternate lenses for Ashworth's device. Now I can use them to sabotage it.
Who is it?
Стресно е, брато. Това беше перфектният капан, който ми дойде, но как може точно сега да се качиш, бе? Патка такава. Добре. Окей. Така. Сега мога спокойно да го взема това сега.
These odd lenses might be linked to what Ashworth is working on.
Това е малко читинг, няма значение. Добре. The original lens joined us and I device for the oracle were wholly flawed. Rather than focusing the energies of the void, the faulty lens scattered them. My head was filled with noise and the spiritual channels linking me to Delilah's magic was nearly extinguished. I will not cease my efforts until our coven controls the sisters of the oracle's order. But I know now that I processed at grave risk. And the old lens could have been my ruin. They're stored in my workshop for now, but must be destroyed.
If I can sabotage Ashworth's communion device, she'll be powerless.
Не можех да изслушам тази обаче.
Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of being overseers for marriage, I visited my father's banker and raced away from my own life.
Praise history by creator himself, Kirin Jindosh, Grand Secron Inventor. Chapter 23. Dear readers, you will be fascinated to know that earlier models of my clockwork soldier had humans-like faces. Allow me to explain. As you know from chapter 18 through 22, I have been testing the clockwork soldier against a wide range of enemies. Early in this process, a problem emerged. The would-be thieves and assailants were not intimidated by the delicate chromatic faces of the earlier prototypes. One criminal even believed they recognized an uncle and attempted conversation. Леле, този човек е бил доста разочарован, между другото, когато е правил клоп. Говориме, това беше на миналия стрим, когато отидохме да го убием и това бяха тези войниците. Нали? Затова ги е направил явно с гарваните. Добре. Undeterred, I set about redesigning the head's mechanism, enhancing it with a terrifying visage. I knew it had found the right design when my first test subject fell into their knees in fear. Wow. Значи просто е Няма нищо общо с това, което прави. Вие няма ли да идвате? Не? Добре. Кученце, сладко малко кученце. Стига, бе. О, бе. Не искам да те убивам. Не искам да те убивам. Не искам да те убивам. Искам да те занеса там, искам да те занеса там, не искам да те убивам. Не искам да те трепа, как да ти го обясна. Не искам. Добре. Така. Тази тука ни трябва. Като за начало си имаме това. Сега всичките тия шитове от тук. Тук има още една книга. The Will of the Oracle Sisters. It's been a difficult create effigies of the Oracle Sister. They keep themselves to rally venturing outside. Impossible to get the hair and nail clipping I need, but I have an idea. If the sisters are linked even beyond death, I then can use the bones of their dead dug from a abbey graveyard to attune to oraculum to the minds of living sisters. It's done Dolph, Lifia, and several others brought back a wagon full of coffins. I will start a new effigies at once. Still only fate voices nothing near the connections required to give them the names. I must adjust the lens or find the effigies. Is that така ли се произнася? Не знам. Sleep with their skull beneath my blankets for a few nights more than perhaps even the scavengers they use to cover their eyes. The lie is anxious about my progress, and yet there's not much to tell. I was able to interrupt several oracle sisters in conversation, leaving them momentarily at a loss of words. I'm confident that soon enough it will be able to make them say whatever I wish. Then I will have news from my empress in Dunwall. At least I had one of the sisters in a trance-like state for an hour. The lie was ecstatic. Soon we'll control the oracles in order. Правят някакви ненормални експерименти. И така, сега правим следното. Взимаме това. Значи тази кучка тук ни трябва живо. Това го разбрахме. Ето тази тук ни трябва, нали така? Да. Ако я приспим от сега и оправяме кучетата.
Someone thought they could shoot me without introducing themselves first?
Не, моля те, кучетата да върна отидат кучетата там. Тя трябва да отиде. Ето отиди там. Отиди там. Отиди там. Отиди там. Не искам да правя някакви ненормални плевове. Не ми се занимава с тебе. Не. Добре, няма да стане. Разбрахме се. Как трябва да я... Как да... Имам идея за едно нещо. Защо ме сейфна тук? Чакай, не. Не. Няма да е там. Не става там. Не ми харесва там. Не ми харесва този сейф.
What in the world?
И така. Оп, сейф. И сега ще вземем едно, да кажем... Да, ето това пример. И ще пробваме нещо. Ха! Стана. Стана. Няма да се събужда шейката ми. Тя е моя. Успяхме. Браво. Това беше мило. Само да видим, взехме ли си това добре.
If I can sabotage Ashworth's communion device, she'll be powerless.
Да. Сейф. Тази ми трябва. Тази картина ми трябва. Тук е било интересно, между другото. Mr. Brenner, like you asked, I stored your audiograph recording in the archive down there in the basement, and I tied it up around the oracle just as you asked. Some of the other were talking about the old lens you took out of the oracle device after accident, saying that they were going to bury the lens forever at the bottom of the ocean. Well, that didn't sound right to me, so I just stored them in the effigies workshop in case you find them some use. All my other chores are done, so I will prepare your liege thistle tea. I'm grateful for the second chance you gave me. I'm sure over time I will feel Delilah's presence and learn the magic. Like my Coven sisters, please don't cast me out. I'll make you and Empress Delilah proud, I promise. А как го пишеше ти сега? Delilah, when we can talk. I write, there are things only you will understand. Daily I feel my connections to the void growing, and through me your power calls out to those who enjoy your coven. New faces, new voices. Our bond is stronger than it was at Bringmore. Yet you feel so far away. If we were together I could say more. It is as if I can see beyond the air into another time or place. You have parted a certain I never knew was there. Or certain? Съжалявам. Oh, Delilah, strange and beautiful whispers are carried on the breeze. I am forever grateful of being your instrument. Damn, Delilah is sadistic. Хайде, мацка. Sorry, чакай. Нещо друго има ли тук? На разходка. Някак скрито това какво е там. Какви сте котики? Nice artwork. Добре. And here we go again. Теб ти е лесно, само ще си спиш. Добре. Сейф. Хем не искам да ги убивам. Така, къде сте с всичките? Една... Мога да се кача отново тук. Така че това не е една страна.
So this could be tampered with. Ashworth could be cut off from the void entirely. No more witchcraft.
Не исках да ви убивам. Но вие ме принудихте. Окей. Всяко време. Не ми се занимава с вас. Какво ще стане, ако служа нея? Да. Мисля, че това ще бъде правилно, нали? Или да се бъркам? Мисля, че не се бъркам. Добре. Хайде. И се сме сега. Няма да бъде тук. Знам, че се сметка ще е приятно. И така. Как си спик?
What will I do now? I'm ruined. That feeling. The things I could do.
Също се вайкаш. Няма страшно, всичко е
Leave
мред.
me be.
Не ме карай да те убивам, молата.
Leave me be.
Айде, дай. Говори се с мене. Си. Добре. И така. Направихме всичките тези архайв, key to archive. Да не забравяме сега сейфа. Main entrance. Да, мисля, че вече можем да се махаме. Я се знам какво направих. Коруната между другото се активира тук, що видяхте ли? Има ли още неща, където не съм видял в тази къща? Това ме интересува. Тук бях. Чакайте да разгледам. може и да намеря нещо интересно. Почваме хай кейас тук. Направихме сейфа. Изпълнихме това, което трябваше. Нека разгледаме сега. Тук бях. Вижте всичките вещици ги... Искам да намеря още някакви интересни клута. Това какво е? Примерно. Моля? Си тъпнята. Сме били. Карнак. Интересно. Не пари. Искам лор. Не пари. Лор. Лор. Тук бяхме. Сега да разберем. Добре, как да... Значи това е... тук долу. Добре, как се очакваше от мене да го взема това? Тя има врата. Сиус. Никъде да намеря този ключ сега. Доста интересно. Горки. Raspberry prototype. Making prototype is several that could be used to upgrade a non-chemical firing mechanism. Small Seagate I have in the basement of the conservatory. Сега трябва да отидем в бейсмента. Хайде там. Хайде към бейсмента. Оп. What? Тук са тествали... това са оградите? Чакайте малко. Сигурен съм, че това е точно... Няма ли нещо, което да хвърля? Айде да е. Но шишенце ми трябва. Как няма да има едно шишенце? А? Е тук. Да? Това е точно стените. Явно тук са ги разработили. Това е първата фаза, която са направили. Но тези машини. Ето бе. From serial detailing Sokolov's machine. А това е на Sokolov даже. One of the advantage of Sokolov technology is that they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks of processed. While oil they use as fuel when a tank is exhausted, another can be plugged into the place with ease. And the process is simple enough that any common workmen or even the lower guardsmen of the city watch can handle the task. This applies to the arc polygon and wall of the line security system as well the cartridges used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of the Sokolov design is the volatility of the oil itself. A few incidents have occurred resulting in damage to property or bodily harm, or whatever one of the tanks has exploded. Това го знаем от опит, че това е доста полезно за убиване. Иначе се гордея с това. И така, отиваме сега към бейсмента. Сега къде е този ключ? Значи с ключето, което имаме. Чакай сега. Не. Искам да разбера за къде е този ключ. Трябва да имам някъде... Или аз го използвах този ключ. Архайв ки. Архайв. Къде е архайв ки? Архайв ки. Значи Codemasters. Не, това не е бейсмента. Архайв ки. Main entrance. Не. Така, Customs. Не. Restricted area. Добре, това не ме интересува. Трябва ми карта. Трябва ми карта. Така. 7. Архайв. -1. Чакай малко. Но аз там бях. Аз в това място мисля, че бях вече. Нали? Нали така не бъркам? Нека тук. Това е архайва. Но аз имах ключ за това. Forbidden Archive. Добре, тогава какво трябва да търсим тук? Да не би да съм пропуснал нещо. Или аз така си мисля. Нищо не съм пропуснал, бе. Малко стара. Добре. Махаме се, писна ми. Писна ми, нама на търката ми писна. Отиваме да си правиме квеста вече. Не съм много сигурен колко безопасно е минало тук. Се надявам, че е безопасно. Да. Ей така. Къде беше сега сейфа? Сега трябва да намерим сейфа.
Who's there?
Sure, I saw someone.
Не смей тук.
Wonder what I'm dealing with.
И така, сега да видим Mission Clues, не? Или точно това беше? Не, ето тук трябва да е. ли са това? Ремайндър, не. 2.6... Какво беше са? Findings... Добре да. Autosir... ето го. 2.5.7. Мисля, че вече официално може да се прибираме. Хайде, да се прибираме. Това спирам. Тези тук дори не знам, че съм тук. Нищо не е това.
So it's done.
Ashworth won't be a problem anymore.
Good. But Corvo, there's something else. Back when I lived in Dunwall, I did things that I'm not proud of.
Всички сме правили неща.
Yeah. But what I did is worse than most. I knew Delilah and Ashworth. Bought into their bullshit, which led me down a bad road. To be honest, before all this, I thought Delilah dead. I don't want to get into it right now, but I felt like you should know. There are things I regret, Corvo.
Deception doesn't make for good allies, Foster.
Is that what you think, Royal Protector? You'll have to tell me all your secrets someday.
Дали?
Are you ready to leave now?
Да, със сигурност. Направо го запомня.
Let's go. Take me back to the dreadful whale.
Почти.
Another step toward the Duke of Serkonos and Delilah.
Почти. Хека, да, естествено, нормално. Добре. Фак. Нищо. Парите и това е окей. Continue винаги. New Game Plus.
3 years ago, Delilah was laying her plans. The Duke's people gathered at the home of a mine baron named Aramis Stilton to commit some horror in her name. I need to know how they made her immortal. But where was I 3 years ago? Letting Emily daydream through council meetings, teaching her fencing and back alley fighting. I always expected an enemy we could put down with a sword. Soldiers, spies, assassins. Instead, we got something else. Beyond the pale. Beyond the natural world. Instead, we got hit by someone like me.
It was pure luck, but I managed to get myself past to mortally upon a decent ship, the dreadful whale. It's called това ship. Това е още началото. Добре. Сейф. И... Travel log. Остават ми още 3 чаптера. Както гледам.
noise out in the city, but I'll explain.
Corroborates I don't tinker with mechanical device much anymore, but I'm not sold as to be useless just yet. Behold, I have fashioned a little contrivance for you. Using only parts scavenged from this wretched vessel. Yes, alright, a few bits were currently in use, but I assume you alone were involved in keeping us afloat. Say anything to Megan, as her disposition needs no further soaring in any case. May this device serve you well, so I mean, thank you, but I'm full. Окей. Спокойно. Не е нужно да си полезен.
I need to know why Delilah can't be killed. Everything we've learned implies that something strange happened at Aramis Stilton's home 3 years ago, but then he disappeared.
Stilton lived in a bunker, kept secure by a fancy lock made by Jindosh. Maybe inside you'll learn more about how to stop Delilah.
But I have to get there first, through a ruin created by the Duke, where I used to live.
Megan had an intriguing idea. Paolo is leader of the Howlers. He wants Vice Overseer Byrne killed, and of course, Byrne wants Paolo dead too. Both groups will attack you on sight, but walk in with the corpse of their chief enemy, and they'll treat you like family.
So that gives me at least one way into Aramis Stilton's house.
I'm pretty sure that will work.
Coming back here, seeing it changed, run into the ground. Some people have reached beyond others. The old Batista neighborhoods, full of mining families, called the Dust District now.
Да, този два квеста има achievement за тях. Ако и двата, ако успея да ги предам.
Vice Overseer Byrne. I dread each interaction with the Abbey.
Искам да намеря къде пише, където спасих репортера. Защо се включва? Отново ли ти ще ме караш, Соколов?
Ready now?
Макар че мисля да спрали. Дали да си почина малко, колко време стримваме. Не знам колко време стрима. Почти 3 часа. Да. Да си даме на малка почивка. И после пак. Между другото, после ще, като превъртиме Dishonored 2. Или ще играя Death to the Outsiders, или ще играем The Last of Us 2, part 2. Само да стигнем до там. Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
I'll get you as close as I can.
Айде. Айде да видим докъде ще стигнем. Докато не превъртиме тази игра, няма да спрям. Отново. Аз преди като играх, даже не четох изобщо лора на играта. Сега че сказвам ми доста интересно това.
I didn't know Aramis Stilton. Who was he?
Loyal to the old Duke. Stilton helped build modern Karnaca with those silver mines. Worked his way up from nothing to a fortified mansion. But the new Duke spends money so fast, the mine crews work all day and all night. The district's in ruins. The dust drives out anyone except the most desperate.
The Duke of Serkonos has made a mess of things. His father was a good man.
True, but the new Duke's misery has only been possible with Dunwall's support. In any case, you'll have to pass through the Dust District. Maybe Snowton's still in there, or maybe he's dead.
Dust District.
Once you reach the Dust District, she'll tell you more.
Сега да...
After you finish.
Здравейте, здравейте. Дано да няма вещици тук. Мога да взема да го спейдърна това. Бързичко да ми на нивото. Но така ще изпъсна доста от исто. Check the speed with no specified danger highway overture security systems here appendix wall of light that should give us after on there so check terrible maintenance. Ето тук вече почва трейлера. Обаче ние не искаме да сме тук. Не искаме да сме... Чакайте да видим. Ще да успеем.
Someone there?
Stay
Damn! Oh, you bastard! Think you're scaring me? Strike at me then! Come back!
No use, brother!
You won't get away! He's wounded! Let's finish him!
You aren't going anywhere!
Thing for you!
Добре. Сета. Наистина сета.
I'm not impressed.
Аз какво да направя? И така. Тук няма. Добре.
Hello?
I'll check around here.
Anybody? Don't make me search the whole place. I don't have time for that.
Damn you! Take this!
Family communicator reported that another silver mine has already collapsed, leaving 8 miners injured and killing 12. О, това е за мината. Това вече го...
Dust storm coming.
Не си в сейф, моля те кажи ми, че не си в сейф. Кой го говори? Ехо.
Another sit.
Ah.
Hello, Lord Protector. Stilton's home is just beyond here, but getting inside will take some effort. I've been doing reconnaissance, talking to people. The Overseers and the Howlers have divided up the district. Just ahead is neutral territory where no one will harass you. But further on, the Howlers and the Overseers both have boundaries set up. And beyond those points, they'll attack you on sight. Yes. I believe that if you take out Paolo or Vice Overseer Byrne, the other one will grant you safe passage and will help you get inside Stilton's home. Neutralize either one of them and bring him to the other. Byrne is protected by the Overseers. Paolo has the Howlers, but I think he's also got some kind of black magic charm. They say he's got to die twice before the sun sets, or he can't be killed. Good luck with that.
Добре. Сега искам да си взема руната. Как да си взема руната? Circon's finest. You're never alone in the hand of God. Eating places, pray food and drink.
Yes, war is expensive. You may not be aware that our silver mines are operating past full capacity.
Добре, също не разбирам как да взема това.
Of our enemies.
Тя ми казва, че ще ме атакуват веднага. Ако ме видят. Аз просто искам да си взема тази.
I'd love to put this through Delilah's head.
Аз искам да го използвам сега.
Choosing between a bunch of thugs and zealots. Maybe they'll kill each other off.
day on the docks, Paulo got cut down.
Значи ние в момента сме в зоната на тъговете. Разбрах. Въпросът ми е кой да избера. Принципно бих сейфнал. Не бих използвал и двата да се взема ачивментите. Защото ще ми е най-лесно. Doctor's accounting book. Symptoms: acute shortness of breath, persistent routine in the left lung, headache. Remedy recommended: inhalation of evaporate sorrow fluids to clear lung obstruction, followed by an injection of ice and salt. Apply the both templates to relieve a headache. Payment coupons with something of fish is probably 2 weeks worth of fish. Symptoms: insomnia, dry hands, cramping of the stomach. Recommended eating 4 small onions before returning to bed. To fight insomnia. Daily graph packing, soaked in vinegar and distilled serum. Payment serum. Това са странни симптоми. Това обаче доктор Сконинг Бог. Не съм сигурен това за какво са симптоми. По-скоро за тия тук, където nosebleed, toothache, weakness, symptoms also related to blood fly stings for bleeding at the nose, tilt back to the head and engaging vigorous motion of the jaws as if in the act of mastication. Taking injections of purified river crust, each will straighten the weak nerves. Да, опитват се да се борят с тези... Не знам аз как оцелям след толкова... Видяхте ли, че това тук що изгоря? Имам пред... Тук що изгоря. Даме, когато не го виждах, не гореше. Седно сега си довърши вилици. Аз попаднах на болница тук. Добре, че пъхвате да ме скачате. Какво се случва?
Show yourself. This must be Paolo's place.
In case you're wondering, Paolo's not one of those unhinged cultists who believe I will grant them favors if they leave a big enough offering, or play just the right musical notes. He doesn't care a fig for me. But he put up this shrine because he found the hand of an old witch I knew once. and Paolo saw right away that it pays to have an edge. Sometimes, pieces of us linger long after we're gone. The Duke of Serkonos inherited a vibrant city and wasted no time stripping it to the bone. What will he leave behind? And what about you? Who will you leave to pick up the pieces here in the Jewel of the South?
Hostile territory. Има саунд, вероятно. Това не е някаква способност. Я тихо молът. Това не трябва. As well larger from the history of overseas. Това тук не съм сигурен дали ми се чете. The Abbey of the Everyman is the seat of religious power and inspiration for all overseas across the empire. The order arose over the years to protect the common people from the ravages of the outsider. Until the need of a certain bastion of authority was deemed necessary, this imposing structure is destination for pilgrims seeking refuge for guidance. Many mistakenly attribute the abbey's constructions to High Overseer Benjamin Hoger, when it was actually Hoger's successor, John Clovering, who laid the foundation. Shortly after the abbey was completed, every overseer in the land gathered there and began a trek to Wildcliff. There is a great siege commenced as the overseers purged the region. The battle raged against the heretics, witches and thralls of the outsider. Though Hogus was killed in the struggle, Whitecliff was cleansed. Am I right? Да, мисля, че така се произнася. And the ceremonial rites that followed lasted for a month, giving birth to many invocations and speeches which were inscribed in tombs and carried back to abbeys, where they are still revered today. И въпреки всичко пак са се върнали и пак сме тук. Нали? След всички е този труд. Някоя друга картина? Време със следващата.
Makes a person sick, it does.
Тук е маличко за... Ето го нашия приятел.
One wrong bird, and I'm stuck over here.
One right, they can get out of bed and open their eyes. Dirty old trousers and browns and blacks. They pick up the tunes and pick up their axe. Say way-o, the dust did blow. Say way-o, the dust did blow.
Used to be, if you wanted a bath, you would just go for a swim. Now the canal's...
Тази песничка ми изкефи. Тази песничка много ми изкефи. Всичко ти изглежда suspicious, разбрах. Айде стига. Те си се оплаква, моят номерата. Моля ти се. Моля ти се. Се отвори. Супер. Че да видиш. Те са бе богати, между другото. Но така да ето, сигурно повечето неща са ги откраднали, така че аз крада от кръците, което не е престъпление, нали? Ако крада от кръците... Не е интересно как ние събудихме.
What's going on here?
Fuck.
Serves you right.
Идяхме. Стига да е. Оставете ме номера, сега ще ме накарате да ви избия всичките. Добре, хайде ще ви избиеме всичките. Окей. Искам да видя какво пише тук. The Duer got himself nicked by Abbey's boys, which means that they got his office key and means he might have told them how to open Jindo's lock. I need to find a way to open their next door and no, bring the building to the ground, it's not an option. I also want you to start dropping off food for old Tilton until we find someone to replace Durnight. Once you manage to get his office open, you will find all the details inside. Be very careful when you go into Stilton's manor. If the overseas do have to code the Jindos, or they might want to have peek inside too. А ти какво четеш? Expert from a logger work translated from old Sequoia by Anastir. Но е сигурно това някаква песничка нещо от това. She was shy in the mouth of hearts, hiding from my scented letters. A sun dappled cure for my loneliness. She was smiling in the mouth of rain, eating things straight from the tree, a dream of sailing around the isles. She was wet in the month of glance to her sailor cousin from Colerio, a shrill bird drilling at my chest. She was dying in the month of songs, struck by disease from the east, a terrible kiss on her distant lips.
Don't get me. What? Somebody
Wait, look! I think his...
Come back here! You won't get away! Think you look tough? Hiding your face?
Не. Искам просто по-начално, приятели. Те просто продължават да си пеят. А те не са лоши.
Making them miners work till they're numb. They pull out that silver and make the man rich and come home broken faces black as pitch. Say way-o, the dust it blows. Say way-o, the silver it glows. And up in that palace where that greedy duke hides, there's riches and treasures he never divides. But down in Batista, where dirty wind blows, the stews are thin and there's rags for clothes. Oh, the Dust District.
Не ми се искаше да ги убирам. Или да ги избивам. Но мисля, че няма значение балове.
Let's see what you got.
Ти да видиш. Това не беше нужно. Няма да те убивам. Поне да сега.
What? Where are you? Don't you know who's... I'll find you. You!
Мисля обаче да дам вече пауза. Стига толкова. Изморих се. Утре ще продължим или в други ден. Благодаря, че гледахте. И не знам, даже всъщност не съм сигурен кой гледа, кой е българин, кой е англичанин. Не знам изобщо кой гледа, кой нищо не е писал, но ни гледа 19 човека. Дано пак се събереме толкова за следващия епизод. И така. Благодаря, че гледахте. И ще се видим следващия път. И лека и спокойна вечер или добро утро или лека